So today I have a get ready with me video and it is full of first impressions. Like almost everything in this video is either like a brand new first impression I've never ever used before or something that is very, very new to me that I can give you like kind of after 1 to 2 times using it, what I kind of think of it so far. So if you like this kind of video, then keep watching. Okay, let's just get started. I've had this for so long and I think I used it once. It's a Boscia No Pores No Shine T-Zone treatment. And when it said treatment, I initially started using it as like, you know, like a nighttime face product, but really I believe it's like a primer because it's supposed to be like a mattifying thing. So we're just gonna try it as a primer. So I'm just gonna put it on my T-zone. I normally do that with a mattifying primer anyway. I only put it on the areas that I need mattifying, but I mean, this says T-zone anyway. So we shall follow the instructions. It feels really nice. It's like very lotiony. It doesn't feel like silicone at all. So we'll see how that works for the day. I have had this for so long and I have never used it, and I've been waiting, I think, to kind of use it with you guys. This is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. Now this is a very, very popular drugstore foundation, especially on YouTube. I hear about it all the time. This is 125 Nude Beige. I've never used it and it has no pump, one thing. I don't think I own a foundation without a pump right now. Or at least in a squeezy tube. So what am I gonna do with this? Put it on the back of my hand, I guess. But I don't know how much to use or what. Okay, I'll just put it directly onto my brush, I guess. I have no idea if this is a good shade match or anything. Because there's no testers in the stores. And when I bought it, it was just like on sale, so I just kind of picked it up on a whim. So I don't know, but it says for normal to oily skin, which you guys know I have oily skin. But I've heard that it's good coverage. Not that I really like need a lot of coverage. By the way, that wasn't enough, so I have to pour out some more on my hand. Yeah, like I don't need a full coverage foundation, really, ever. And the foundations I love tend to be ones with medium coverage. Along with that, I got the Fit Me Concealer. I don't understand how this range is supposed to work. Oh, this is still sealed. How this range is supposed to work like in conjunction. They have these numbers, so, but it's not like, it doesn't say 125 and then 125. So I don't know how they're supposed to match up, but this is shade 25 medium. And oh, actually, before I do that, let's do this first. This is the Naked Skin Corrector. I've been using this for about a month, but I don't think you guys have ever seen me use it yet, so I wanted to use it with you guys. So you can see it's like a peachy colored corrector. It's just like the Naked Skin Concealer in packaging. It's got the same applicator and all that. I use this little brush. It's like a concealer brush. It's from Sephora. It's called the Pro Airbrush Concealer Brush, number 57. I like it for this, for any corrector. This is what I use normally. So you can see going on, it's like a salmon shade. And so I use this to correct my dark circles, and then I go over top of it with a concealer. When I use like the Benefit Erase Paste, I tend to use a lot less because it is so creamy and so, it's a little bit more pigmented than this, not a whole lot, but enough. So I tend to use a lot less of that. This I just kind of use like it as if it was a concealer, because concealer on top of it, like it covers it up really well. So this is just what I use to kind of erase the dark circles before I go in with the concealer. So just kind of make sure that is blended in well. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the Fit Me Concealer. So this has a little doe foot applicator. I don't know about the shade. I think this is gonna be more of like a concealer shade than a highlighter shade on me. And I have no idea if I'm using too much. Kind of looks like I am using too much, but you know, I want to cover up that corrector. It seems like, okay, not creamy, but like creamy. So like watery creamy, does that make sense? Do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that? So like creamy but spreadable, I guess. That's kind of what it feels like. Oh, it looks all right. Looks all right. Okay, so what I'm gonna be using for a lot of this is this LA Colors Face Contour Palette. I put this in my Bought It Forgot It for this month because I haven't used this really at all. And so what I'm going to do is use a few different products in this. I'm going to, first of all, set my under eye, and I'm going to use this shade here mixed with the MAC Pro Emphasize powder. So I have used this a couple times. Honestly, I don't really see that it's doing anything. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me what you think. But anyway, I'm going to use the tapered highlighter from Sigma F35 for setting my under eye. This is honestly probably my favorite brush ever. Just in general, because you know, there are different brushes that I've used over the years to set my under eye, and I've never really liked any of them 100%, but this one I love. Okay, so I just kind of go over that one more time before I set my under eye, just to make sure there's no like product gathering in my fine lines. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of each of those products on here. One trick is to kind of look up, but I'm looking at myself in the mirror, so I'm putting my chin down, so that, you know, you don't have those lines when you're setting your under eye. I got this as a free sample. I guess I'm gonna use this with my beauty blender. This is Dew the Hoola, the new liquid bronzer from Benefit. I'm going to just put it on the back of my hand. Whoa, a lot comes out in one, like, can you see that? It's actually pretty thick. Look at it like standing up there. Any hoozlebees. Okay, so how am I gonna do this? Never used this before. That's a lot of product. I don't think I'm gonna need all of that. You can see like the consistency of it. Okay, let's just tap some along here, and before that gets in my hair, let's just kind of use the beauty blender. It feels kind of cool. It's kind of like a gel. It's blending nicely. It's, you know, very, very subtle, I think. Like, very subtle. I'm trying to see how it looks on the viewfinder. Doesn't really look like much, does it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that really is like looking like anything. I can tell you one thing, in the summertime, that won't look like anything at all for sure on my skin, because I really tan in summer. Like, my skin has always been that kind of skin where it soaks up the sun and it doesn't burn. When I was a kid, like in the summer, I was like 10 shades darker than normal. So there's that. Okay, now I could do one of two things. I could set my whole face with that contouring kit, but I think I'd rather use this because this is the Fit Me powder, and since I'm wearing the Fit Me foundation and the Fit Me concealer, I thought maybe it'd be better to use this. Now, I have used this before, but it was many, many moons ago, and so I don't even remember if I liked it or hated it or anything. I'm using the e.l.f. complexion brush. I love this brush. It's a really, really good face brush. This is in the shade 310. I don't know why I bought 310. It's called Sun Beige, but honestly, I'm putting it on and it doesn't really look like any color is going on anywhere. And it's like I'm having to like rub my brush in here to even get product out. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have covered up that little zit, huh? Totally didn't even think about that. See, this is the realness here, you guys. Realness. Eyebrows. I'm going to use the Brow Stylist Definer and the Brow Stylist Plumper. You guys know my thoughts on these. Well, not this one yet, but this one you know my thoughts on. I freaking love it. But I'm gonna fast forward this part because it's gonna be boring. This thing is just so good. It's so good. Okay, this I just hauled it a little bit ago. Here's what the brush looks like. it's kind of like the Gimme Brow brush, except like this is longer, but the end of it is the same as the Gimme Brow. This is just a transparent brow gel. Now, the pencil is like just as good as the Anastasia Brow Wiz, that I was hoping that this would be like just as amazing as the Anastasia clear brow gel, which is my favorite. But okay, look, first of all, it comes out so, can you see that? Like when you pull it out, sometimes it has like a big clumpy gunky thing on the end, and like you can't just put that right on your brows. It's crazy. So that's one thing about this I don't love. And the other thing is I just don't really feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like it holds the brows in place all day like the Anastasia one does. And I don't have like that big of a problem with my brows going unruly because they're not really that long. But if you do, I don't think I would really recommend this. I think this is an okay everyday cheaper drugstore version brow gel for like people who don't need a super long hold, but if you do, I wouldn't recommend that. This I got like in an Ipsy or something. This is Elizabeth Motte eyeshadow primer. It's called Thank Me Later. And so I tried it once before and there was nothing about it that wowed me. There's nothing about it that I hated. I can't really recall. It's like a really lotiony, kind of feels like the Urban Decay one, but more lotiony than that. It's not really all that tacky feeling, you know? And so I don't know. Still working out my feelings on this one. By the way, you guys, I'm on episode 12 of the season 4 of House of Cards on Netflix. It just came out. Literally, it came out 3 days ago. I didn't mean to binge watch it. I don't even know how that happened. It's just happening. Like, literally, today's Monday, it came out on Friday. How does that happen? I don't know. I don't even love that show that much. It's a good show. It's not like the most amazing show ever, but it's just so watchable. Here's what I'm gonna use. I haven't even hauled this yet. This is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Strips. Custom Eye Enhancing Shadow and Liner Extreme Shimmer. What is this called? Bronze Nude. So this has been around for just a little bit in the drugstore. I know it's not like brand new. Here's another shadow that I'm gonna use. I'm going from one thing to the next without like really stopping. This is a NYX Single Shadow in Stiletto. I'm just gonna use this as a transition because all of those are glittery. So I'm just gonna put this down in my crease. I have not used this before. It's been sitting in my drawer for months. What to do? I think I'm gonna go a little bit ham today. I think I'm gonna put the blue all over the lid and kind of do some bronziness and goldiness in other areas. So let's try this one. I'm gonna take MAC 217. I'm gonna try placing that kind of in the crease. Okay. Yes, there's some pigment to that. Pigment and glitter for sure. So let's try to be a little bit careful with it. I'm gonna kind of put it into the kind of V as well. So V and crease kind of thing. And just blend that. By the way, with the NYX brush, I was using a Morphe M200. With the NYX brush, with the NYX eyeshadow, I was using this brush, the Morphe M200. I'm just going to put a little bit more of that because I might have gone up a little too high with this. So let's just blend that out a little bit. MAC 217. I'm going to take that blue shade and we're just gonna pop the side of this into it and then put it right down on the lid. I'm gonna try to keep it kind of in the middle, not all the way into the inner corner and not up too high. Honestly, I don't know how often I would ever use a blue eyeshadow, except for that this is a first impressions video, and when you got a pigmented blue eyeshadow like this in a palette, you kind of have to use it, don't you? I do this for you guys. That is really pigmented. Like, look at, it's like staining the brush. That is really a lot of pigment in there. So these do have a lot of fallout though, so you have to be careful. I'm gonna take this end shade here and put it like kind of right in the inner V. Whoa. Okay, this one is one of those kind of chunkier ones. When I swatched it, I noticed like some of them are a little bit chunkier. This is definitely a chunkier one. What do you think? Let's take Sigma E25 and I'm going to go into, let's see, maybe this darkest brown and just put it a little bit into the V on the outer edge and kind of into the crease just a little bit. I am noticing a lot of fallout, like a lot. Down here, these are pigmented and glittery, so I guess it's kind of to be expected a little bit. Okay, overall first impressions. These shadows are kind of hit and miss, but overall hit. I'm really liking it. Like you can see the pigment in those and like the blendability is really good. So I've been using this here thingy-mabobber. Yeah. Okay, I've been using this Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum in Ultra Black. It's like a fine tipped eyeliner. I do not like it as much as my Kat Von D, what's it called? Tattoo liner in Trooper, because I just find it's not as pigmented. Like I really have to go over it and over it and over it to get the color to kind of pay off. I'm not in love with this. It is not as pigmented as I want it to be. The other thing is it doesn't glide as easily over top of eyeshadow as like the Kat Von D one does. So I think it's an okay drugstore option, but it's definitely not my favorite. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting because these contour shades in here to me look very super warm. And I did swatch them. They don't, I think, come off as warm and a swatch as they do in a pan. This is the darkest, and even though it's the darkest, I'm gonna try to use this one because it's the most cool toned out of them. And I'm a little bit scared. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit onto my Narzita brush. You see, okay. Now, sometimes I know on camera things don't look as blendable or as blended as they are in real life. In my mirror, it's looking pretty blended. Like, doesn't look like a crazy stripe. In my viewfinder, it looks like a crazy stripe. It's very hard to figure that one out. I'm going to use this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because that Hoola I don't really think did anything. And I wanted to try out this weird little contraption it comes with. So normally Physicians Formula products come with a brush. This is like a sponge in brush form. It's really weird, right? So let's take some onto the sponge and apply it. This is so strongly scented of coconut. It's crazy. Like suntan lotion coconut smell, that kind of smell. Okay, this is like, it's fine. I mean, if you didn't have a bronzer brush and you had to use this, I would say go for it, right? It looks blended. It's blending it. It feels okay. It's kind of hard, but it feels alright. Okay, I don't hate it. I do really like this bronzer though. I have not used this yet. This is the Sephora blush in Sweet on You. Let's just give this an old swatch before I put it on my face. Nice, beautiful peachiness. So I have not really used a lot of Sephora blushes before. I like it. Blending pretty good. It's not like a super babam pigment, but that's okay because for blushes you don't necessarily want to worry about that immediately, and you can build it up if you want to, and it's blending out pretty good. So yeah, nice. I like it. I'm going to do something new with my highlight today. This is in my Forgot It, and I've never used this. This is the Hefty highlight, the Clinique Chubby Stick. Now, I've heard that the best thing to do is to apply it with your fingers, not just like draw it on your face. So let's just tap it on. I don't even know how to explain this. It almost looks like I'm clogging my pores with it. Like I'm taking a cream product and like pressing it into my pores, and it looks like it's sitting on top of the skin. I don't know. I'm gonna have to maybe use this again or see how it works throughout the day. I mean, the glow is there on camera. In real life, it's not really. I don't know what to think about this. Okay, let's take this LA Colors palette one last time and take this highlight in it. Now there's two highlight shades in here. When I swatch them, they both come off kind of choppy, to be honest with you, so I don't know how they're gonna look. These two are the highlight shades. Obviously this is a little bit more gold, this is a little bit more pink. I'm gonna use the pink one and kind of put that on top of the Clinique one just to kind of set it and see how that works. It's not really giving me life, guys. It's not. This whole palette in general, I think is kind of like a no. It's kind of like a miss. I have used this peach blush in it. It's like a corally orangey peach with a lot of shimmer. This blush is gorgeous. This under eye setting, it's doing an alright job. The contour, I think, is a no. The highlight is like, it's not doing anything at all. Like I can't even really see it. I guess you could use these as bronzers if you wanted to. They are very warm. I don't know. It was only $8, but still, it's not like, you know, sometimes there are $8 things where you're like, yeah, go get that. But this is not one of those. So I just lightly kind of move them back and forth to separate them. Okay, let's use this Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. This is brand new to me. I've used it like twice so far, and so far I like it. I would say I like it a lot. It's definitely not one of my favorites. There's a lot of length, like it is definitely lengthening. I don't necessarily think it's the most volumizing thing in the world. It's kind of like a really good everyday mascara. I would compare this to the L'Oreal Voluminous from the drugstore. It really gives me that kind of feeling, like that kind of vibe. Yeah, but it's not like, it's not blowing my mind or anything. I know for some people it's a huge favorite. For me, I have other favorites that I already adore, so you know, once you've found a mascara that's like super amazing, it takes a lot to live up to that sometimes. And this is just like good. It's just solidly good. I'm going to line my lips with MAC Subculture. This is a really good kind of contouring lip pencil. Not that I overline usually ever, but I don't know, it's just kind of good for defining. And I'm going to use MAC Sweetie, which is kind of a Your Lips But Better with glitter for me. But the glitter is not like super pronounced. And because of this blue eye situation, I don't want to do anything crazy. I want to do something subtle on the lips. I'm actually really liking this eyeshadow look. Like, I'm really liking it now. Like, I'm taking some time to look at it. The inner color there, even though it was a little bit chalky, it's just giving me a little bit of life. This is gonna be a winner for summer, I can tell you that. Okay, this foundation, just now that we're kind of at the end and I can kind of take some time to think about it, the finish is really nice. I really like the finish on it. I think the shade might be, looking at my neck, might be a little bit dark. Maybe for summer it'll look, you know, a lot more natural. I'm telling you something, that highlight in the viewfinder looks freaking amazing. But in person, it is not that amazing, you guys. It looks kind of weird. So I'm not liking this. But I will use it another time or two, we'll see. Yeah, the concealer, it's okay. I mean, you can still kind of see my dark circles. That corrector is not like the most amazing corrector of life or anything. It's good though, and it's very blendable, and I like that. It's not as like heavy as some other correctors, and so I really like it for that. Like, it doesn't get cakey. Speaking of not getting cakey, like, I feel like the rest of my face is good. So all those other powders, like the under eye powder, the Pro Emphasize, those are not giving me any cake under here. This Fit Me powder, it's not doing any cakiness either. I didn't like that I had to dig my brush in it so hard to get product in the first place. The mascara is really good. Like I said, I'm liking this look. What do you guys think? I'm liking it. So overall, success, I think. Lots of new products. I kind of like doing these first impressions, get ready with me with you. If you guys like it, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. That really helps me like get to other people so other people can find my channel and we can keep doing stuff together and growing together. So that is really appreciated when you do that. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. And other than that, that's it for today. So yeah, always leave me your ideas too. If you have any ideas of things you would like to see from me, make sure to leave those in the comments too. And I hope, can we just talk like that for like a whole video? What if I talked like that for a whole video? Wouldn't that be hilarious or no? Okay. Okay, you guys, thank you for spending time with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.